This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Our top story, Hurricane Maria strengthening to an extremely dangerous Category 5 storm tonight. Maria making landfall this evening on the island of Dominica. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan has more in your first alert forecast. Bob?
Yeah, shortly before 8 o'clock tonight, the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center suggesting that the hurricane hunters found 160-mile-an-hour winds near the center of this 8-mile-wide eye. And it is a devastating storm, and it doesn't appear to be loosening or weakening at this point either. Well-defined center. It looks symmetrical in all quadrants right now. Excellent outflow. This isn't going to diminish in intensity anytime soon either, as it makes its way toward the U.S. and British Virgin Islands as well as Puerto Rico throughout the late night Tuesday and into Wednesday. This storm is probably going to be a Category 5 as it enters into the weather picture. This is just unbelievable. An 8-mile-wide eye hitting this island, looks to be of only 20 miles in length there, and it's directly over the top of it. In 1979, a Category 4 moved through this same area. And that's the latest, strongest storm has ever hit. There was in 1979. That's the last Category 4 has hit it. And 75% of the dwellings were destroyed. There were 75% of the people remained homeless after that storm. Well, it's at 924 millibars right now. Top winds are at 160, gusts as high as 185. It's moving to the west-northwest at 9, and it looks like it will continue on that track as a 5, very close to St. Kitts and even Barbuda. That could get some of the outflow from there and cause some all sorts of problems with hurricane force winds. Obviously, then moving into Puerto Rico as a Category 5. First, the southern half of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, the U.S. islands right there. The British islands took a direct hit from Irma, and now it looks like the southern half, even the northern half, could get it as well because there's still quite a bit of cone of uncertainty. Puerto Rico looks to be getting a Category 5 hurricane there on Wednesday, and then it continues on off toward the northwest. Now, the forecast models really haven't changed all that much. It continues to keep it away, at least the cone of uncertainty, from Florida, and a little shift to the right now. Still by, looks like day 5, Saturday, 115-mile-an-hour winds, and that is a devastating storm, even at a Category 3. Jose actually is helping out, we think, in regard. It's kept the waters cooler here. That's the reason why it's going to lose some of its intensity. On top of this line right here is a trough of low pressure. And with this hanging around right here, that trough will erode the high pressure which is driving this thing off the west, and it appears that it will make for an easy path through there. That can all change, obviously, depending upon the future path and track of what Jose is doing right now. So Florida looking good right now, optimistic, however, still very cautious at this time. 77 degrees, clear skies, the heat index is 78, not a factor. Winds are light out of the east at 3. We'll have more in our forecast in a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you so much. A 14-year-old from the Newtown neighborhood of Sarasota still remains missing tonight. Jabez Spann was last seen back on Labor Day along 23rd Street in Sarasota. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live tonight from Sarasota Police Headquarters with more on the story. Rick?
Yes, Scott, he has been missing now for more than 2 weeks. The police and the community are asking for your help. It's a parent's worst nightmare, having her child vanish off the face of the earth. Tawana Spann's 14-year-old son, Jabez, has been missing now since September 4th. Spann, her boyfriend, and other family members are pleading for information to find him and hopefully a safe return home.
If there's anybody that know anything, like, don't just let him, if something happens, don't just let him just be out there like that.
Jabez was last seen playing near his grandmother's house in the 1500 block of 23rd Street in Sarasota. The Sarasota Police Department are following all leads and asking the community for their assistance.
We have done searches, grid searches. We have tried pinging his phone. We have followed up leads. At this point, we know and believe that there are people within our community that has information about this young man and his whereabouts.
In fact, the ping to Jabez's cell phone tracked it to an undisclosed wooded area near Sarasota, but police weren't able to find the phone or any evidence of him being there. And one of the ways the community is trying to help is they're going door to door and store to store with flyers like this. Groups are now going out daily, handing out hundreds of these flyers with the hopes they get in the hands of somebody who knows something.
This is another opportunity for the community to come together and to support one another, to show love, to collaborate. You know, to do what's right.
Jabez Spann is described as a bright teen who is very athletic. He is between 5 feet 7 inches and 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 120 to 130 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a turquoise shirt.
Somebody got to know something. Somebody has to know something where this boy is.
And if you know more information on Jabez's whereabouts, you're being asked to contact authorities immediately. Reporting live from downtown Sarasota this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Scott, back to you.
All right, Rick, thanks so much for that update. Florida Virtual School is helping out students across the state who are affected by Hurricane Irma. Governor Rick Scott announcing today that Florida Virtual School will provide remote access to educational resources to all Florida students who were displaced by the storm. FLVS will also provide access to digital educational materials to help the hardest hit school districts as they work to return to normal operations. Students should visit flvs.net to begin the registration process or email the agency for special accommodations. You can still see the aftermath of Hurricane Irma throughout our area, but some of the damage it left behind cannot be seen. Some people say they are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder after the storm, and local doctors say they are seeing an increase of patients with the mental illness. Kids and adults suffering from PTSD may suddenly become anxious, overreact to stress, or have trouble sleeping. But patients may not experience these symptoms for up to 6 months. Doctors say it's not out of the ordinary for someone to develop PTSD after a natural disaster like a hurricane.
We all made it through a horrible situation, and we wouldn't be human if we didn't have a reaction to it. So our reactions are normal.
Doctors suggest the best way to deal with the symptoms of PTSD or anxiety is to stay busy or talk to someone about your feelings, like a medical professional. Well, some people are getting rid of the sandbags used for flooding during the storm. Thousands of people got those free sandbags to prevent flooding into their homes. But now Sarasota County wants to make sure you are disposing of your sandbags properly. That means dumping it into the storm drains is prohibited by Sarasota County Public Utilities. This will cause storm drains to block, which could result in flooding in your neighborhood. Feeding Tampa Bay is delivering emergency supplies to Bradenton, South Tampa, and 2 other counties. They provided people with ready-to-eat meals and water today. These communities were selected because of their high rates of food insecurity and food access, which has worsened after Irma.
When we opened at 12 o'clock today, we had about 1,000 people just lined up to get this food, and we only started advertising it this morning through our agencies and pantries.
The public is encouraged to donate time, money, or supplies to support Feeding Tampa Bay's Irma relief efforts. You can learn more by visiting feedingtampabay.org/Irma relief. Governor Rick Scott is trying to prevent another storm-related tragedy from happening again. This comes after 8 people died at a rehabilitation center in South Florida. On Saturday, Governor Scott directed the State Agency for Healthcare Administration and the Department of Elder Affairs to issue emergency rules. Those rules would force nursing homes and assisted living facilities to have backup power systems to keep buildings cool. Nursing home and health officials are holding an emergency summit in Tallahassee this week to discuss Scott's directive.
Nursing homes are very proactive when it comes to emergency preparedness. They do disaster drills, they have emergency preparedness plans. We do a lot of continuing education at Florida Healthcare Association. So this is something that they're preparing for. No one could have seen the breadth of the size of Irma and what it would do.
Knapp says Friday's meeting is expected to include nursing homes, utilities, generator suppliers, emergency managers, regulators, and government officials. Straight ahead tonight, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the first alert forecast, including the tropics and our weather here at home, plus the latest on protests in St. Louis over a former officer's acquittal in a murder case. And chilling video of a bus collision in New York that left 3 people dead. What witnesses had to say about that terrifying crash.
We were watching ABC7 News.
We kept getting the information we needed along the way, and it did help us prepare.
When they were showing the eye, I started to realize, okay, we better take some precautions.
We were able to look at the My Suncoast app and get the weather updates.
We stayed informed during the storm.
It makes a big difference having the information that you need in a time of stress.
Bob and John Scalzi, both of them,
They're my favorites. It helped a lot to have you guys reporting for us.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Bob, we were just talking about this has been a crazy season so far the last month or so. We've seen these really powerful storms kick up, and I guess something like this has happened before.
2005, we did have 4 Category 5 hurricanes. We had Emily, Rita, and Katrina, and Wilma. So we did have 4 5s then. So it's a little unusual to have them get so big, so strong, so fast. I mean, this happened within a day. We went from a Category 1 to a strong Category 5 season. A different story outside our studios. Obviously a nice night right now as high pressure is built in across our region, and we're looking for a pretty decent day again tomorrow. It'll start off real nice too with generally fair skies and just a few clouds expected to develop in the afternoon. So again, not too bad here. Obviously just terrible in the islands right now. Our hearts go out for those folks there in the islands. Here's a look at what the names are thus far and the active hurricane season that we are in. 13 named storms, and we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again, major hurricanes already, and 2 Category 5 storms with Irma and Maria now. Well, the photo sent in of this one from Sarasota Valley, getting this one a nice shot of sunset tonight. No clouds around, pretty quiet out there. A few showers along the East Coast, and a few isolated showers popped up along our coast. Not a lot of activity, but we did see a few. Again, the activity is very light at this point, and we're not anticipating much going on as far as that goes. As we take a look at what's happening, we have some rain along the East Coast, as I mentioned. Not much here. There's one shower just offshore, continuing to push off to the west. Well, the dry air is in place here, so we're not seeing a lot of widespread rainfall. The Jose spinning right here. We have a little trough extending from it, creating those showers over the East Coast right now. And that trough may end up helping us out as a result of the eroding of the high pressure that's driving Maria right now. No real threat of any significant rainfall in our forecast tomorrow, just a slight chance at 20%. 77 right now. It's the dew point's at 73, and the humidity is at 88%. Winds are out of the east, very light at 3. And the high today was right at the average of 89, and 89 is our normal. 95, the record set in 2005. And no rainfall to report for the month now at 8.75 inches. As far as the forecast goes for tomorrow, look for highs right around 90. We'll have a few clouds in the forecast, and looks like rain chance only at 20% on Tuesday. It goes up a little bit on Wednesday, and then looks like Thursday even more so. Well, this is pretty amazing that this storm made landfall in just a small area. This is about 25 miles in length here. And again, the eye right now over Dominica, expected to exit here shortly and then head off to the west-northwest. Even Martinique as well as Guadeloupe is getting hit hard by the storm. They're not getting the core of those 160-mile-an-hour winds, but still they're getting strong hurricane force winds there. It's moving to the west-northwest at 9. The pressure is at 924. And the forecast path, unfortunately, is right for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and then heading right to Puerto Rico. It's shifted a little bit to the right now, but still it can be anywhere within inside this cone, as we've learned with Irma. 145 miles an hour as it heads toward the southeastern Bahamas. And there it kind of spreads out as far as where it may be, but it could miss the Bahamas altogether and stay to the right of that. In fact, the forecast cone has shifted a little bit off to the right. There's still a chance, though, if that trough isn't there, that this storm will have a tendency to move more toward the Carolinas in time, but there's only a couple of models that think that's going to happen. So looking better for the U.S. coast, but the size of this storm is just not all that big right now, but if it goes through a concentric eye wall replacement, we will see the wind field spread out a little bit just in time as it heads toward Puerto Rico on Wednesday. Well, here's the beach and boating forecast. Northeast winds turn to the north at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet with a moderate chop. And the water temperature now at 84 degrees. UV index will be at 10 tomorrow. And look for a pretty good beach weather. Low tide upcoming at 6:57 and a high tide at 12:37. The forecast mostly fair and mild, 72 for a low. And then tomorrow look for sunshine, plenty of it, just a few clouds. High temperatures will top out near 90. And the extended forecast is calling for a gradual increase in chances for rainfall right through fall, which officially arrives on Friday just after 4 p.m. And we'll see windy weather as a result of Maria. It looks like Sunday and Monday. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. The city of St. Louis bracing itself for another night of turmoil. Peaceful demonstrations by day have turned violent at night. All this coming after a Missouri judge acquitted a white police officer charged with murder in the shooting death of a black man. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in St. Louis.
After a weekend filled with violent protests, St. Louis is at a boiling point. More than 100 people arrested Sunday night. Protesters took to the streets, tossing rocks at local businesses.
That's the rock.
One owner showing us the rock that shattered his restaurant's window.
People setting out to do damage are being arrested. And these criminals we've arrested should be held accountable and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
If we don't get it, shut it down!
Authorities drawing a distinction between the large number of peaceful daytime demonstrators.
I don't want to be out here, but what else can we do but protest peacefully?
And the small number of violent protesters at night. The catalyst for all of this, the acquittal of Jason Stockley, who is white, in the 2011 fatal shooting of Anthony Lamar Smith, a black man.
Hit him right now.
Stockley chased Smith during a pursuit, where the 36-year-old former officer can be heard on the dash cam saying, quote, "We're killing this expletive." Stockley shot Smith 5 times, saying he feared for his life. Now, businesses in a popular St. Louis shopping district already hit hard are bracing for another night of protest.
We need to march every day till whenever, and whenever doesn't have an end. I'm for this. Every day we should protest. Change has to come, and it has to come now.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, St. Louis.
President Trump returns to his hometown for the United Nations General Assembly this week. World leaders gaining a front row seat to the president's evolving opinions on the United Nations. The president's disdain for the Iran deal is well documented. He calls the Iran nuclear pact one of the worst deals he's ever seen and has threatened to pull out of it. But Iran's president warns against withdrawal. He says pulling out of the agreement tells nations like North Korea that negotiating with America is a waste of time. This week, the president will talk with more than a dozen world leaders tackling issues like climate change, global terrorism, and especially North Korea. 3 people were killed and 16 were hurt when a city bus was hit by a charter bus in Queens this morning. Rena Roy has the latest.
The speedometer at the center of the investigation tonight as detectives work to determine if speed played a factor in this deadly crash. Surveillance video shows just how fast a charter bus was moving when it slammed into an MTA Q20 bus at around 6:15 this morning. The MTA now confirms that private bus driver Raymond Mong used to work for the MTA but was fired in 2015 with cause. Sources telling us that cause was drunk driving. He was arrested and charged for driving while intoxicated in New Haven, Connecticut.
Very concerned about the speed, but the most important thing is safety. And we want to make sure that we understand exactly what happened.
This cell phone video moments after the crash shows more than a dozen victims were pulled from the smoking buses with broken bones and gashes. Others were taken away by an FDNY bus for treatment, bandages to their head.
The impact was so strong, everybody moved and they was all together. It looked like dominoes. It was crazy. Screams, like terrifying screams, like people screaming for help.
I saw a guy with his skull was cracked open. I saw guys with cuts saying, "Help, help, help me."
Others never made it out alive, including Mong, who was alone on his bus. 68-year-old Henry Dowiak was also killed after being pinned. MTA passenger 55-year-old Gregory Lillifors also died. His longtime neighbor mourning the loss tonight.
Very sad. Man was just outside doing what he normally did, going to work, whatever, and just terrible. Just terrible. We feel very sorry for his family.
One victim, 57-year-old Yang Jung Kim from South Korea, describes the crash. An interpreter explains he was on the MTA bus and got knocked out for several minutes after the collision. The crash was not only deadly but damaging. The charter bus careened into two storefronts, taking down a light pole and awning along with it.
Just shocking. You see the scene over there. Hard to compare to anything I've ever seen, the sheer destruction from the impact of this collision.
Sports is coming up next, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Enjoy this sample of Tonight Show. It's gluten-free.
I feel like I've behaved myself sufficiently. If you put your leg on that table one more time, I can't be responsible for what's going to happen. Okay?
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more. All at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. The chemotherapy drug Taxotere has been linked to permanent alopecia or permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. The FDA has urged doctors and the manufacturer to warn women administered Taxotere of the risk of permanent hair loss. If you or a loved one were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and suffered permanent hair loss, you may have a right to a cash award and medical expenses. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump at the number below right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Patriotism.
It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
40 Carats Family Center presents a free speaker event, The Whole Brain Child, featuring world-renowned neuropsychiatrist and author Dr. Dan Siegel at Riverview High School Auditorium on Tuesday, October 3rd at 7 p.m. RSVP required at 40carats.org.
Now, sports.
Well, the late start of the season for the Buccaneers was certainly worth the wait, wasn't it? A dominating win over the Chicago Bears yesterday. Tampa Bay's defense forcing 4 turnovers and the offense playing well. No turnovers, just 1 penalty to get the win. While head coach Dirk Cutter is happy with the victory, he knows there's still plenty of work to do before the Bucs face the Vikings on Sunday.
You got to take it with a grain of salt. It was a fun day. It was a good start, but by no means was it a clean day. You know, it wasn't. We had plenty of things to work on. You know, it was our first game, and from conditioning to technique to execution, we have areas to improve in.
Miami Dolphins linebacker Lawrence Timmons may not be a member of the team for much longer. Timmons went AWOL on Saturday, the day before the Dolphins season opener at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Dolphins later made contact with him, but he was not with them at the game and did not fly back to South Florida on the team plane after Miami's 19-17 win. Head coach Adam Gase would not say if Timmons will play Sunday against the Jets, but the coach said his only rules for players are to be on time and play hard. 2 games tonight in high school football, both delayed by school closings last week due to Hurricane Irma. The Sarasota Sailors traveling to Northport and posting an impressive 27-6 win over the Bobcats. And then in a low score, ODA edges Bradenton Christian 7-6. Weather permitting, we'll have a full slate of action this football Friday night. Fingers crossed. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers right after this.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if your loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Well, Bob, our thoughts are with folks down in the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. I mean, they're going to be facing a monster again.
Yeah, they could see a Category 5 hurricane make landfall again. It's already made landfall in Dominica, and with 160-mile-an-hour winds, 180-mile-an-hour gusts, and the hurricane warnings are up for Puerto Rico, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands as well. Hurricane warnings.
Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.